The smoke between worlds. Erica had always been a thrill seeker, chasing adrenaline in all its forms. Skydiving, base jumping, dangerous hikes through remote jungles, all of it had become routine. So when her friend Jake introduced her to DMT, promising an experience unlike anything she had ever encountered, she barely hesitated. They sat together in Jake's dimly lit apartment, surrounded by glowing incense and crystals, the heavy scent of sage filling the air. Jake handed her the pipe with a knowing grin. "It's not like anything else, Erica. You won't be able to explain it." She took a deep breath, igniting the DMT. The harsh chemical smoke filled her lungs, burning slightly. But as she exhaled, the room around her began to warp and shift. The walls rippled like water. Colors bled into each other, swirling, as if reality itself was melting away. Her body slumped backward onto the couch, but Erica's mind shot forward, flung into another realm. It was dark at first. She felt herself floating, weightless, in a vast black void. Then, lights appeared, pinpricks of white, blue, and violet, shifting in the darkness like living constellations. She drifted toward them, drawn in as they expanded and twisted into strange geometric patterns, spinning faster and faster. Suddenly, the darkness shattered. Erica found herself standing in a vast landscape, one that defied logic. The sky was split, half blood red and half pitch black, with jagged lightning slashing between the two. The ground beneath her feet was not solid, but seemed to pulse and breathe, a living, undulating mass of fleshy tendrils. The air buzzed with a deep, resonant hum that vibrated through her bones. She blinked, struggling to make sense of the world around her. Everything was sharp yet blurred at the edges, as if reality were fraying. Ahead, something moved. At first, it was hard to distinguish from the surroundings, but then it emerged from the shadows. A figure, impossibly tall and thin, with elongated limbs that bent at unnatural angles. Its face was featureless, a blank slate of flesh, save for two sunken black pits where eyes should have been. Erica's heart raced. She tried to move, but her legs felt stuck, rooted to the writhing ground. The figure glided toward her, silent and smooth, its head tilting unnervingly as if studying her. Then it spoke, not with words, but with a voice inside her mind, a sound like nails scratching across glass. "You've crossed the veil, but you shouldn't be here." Panic seized her. She tried to scream, but no sound came out. The world around her flickered, as if the very fabric of this strange reality was tearing. The creature drew closer, its eyeless gaze boring into her. The flesh beneath her feet writhed, tightening around her ankles like living roots. "You've come too far," it whispered in her thoughts. "Now, you belong to us." Erica's vision blurred again. The sky overhead split open, revealing a massive dark mouth, a maw of teeth that spiraled endlessly, opening to swallow the horizon. The hum in the air grew louder, a deafening, pulsating roar that vibrated through her skull. Desperately, she willed herself to wake up, to snap back to Jake's apartment, to the dim light and the comfort of reality. But something was holding her there, something deep, ancient, and malevolent. The creature reached out with one skeletal hand, brushing its cold fingers across her face. Her skin burned at its touch, the searing pain spreading through her body like wildfire. "You should never have looked," the voice hissed. "But now, you will never stop seeing." With that, the world around her crumbled, pulling her down into the gaping maw in the sky. Everything was swallowed in darkness, the last thing she saw being the creature's blank face, looming over her as the ground gave way beneath her. Then, silence. When Erica finally jolted awake, she was back on Jake's couch, gasping for air. Her body trembled and her heart pounded in her chest. Jake sat beside her, smiling. "Wild, huh?" he asked, oblivious to the terror that had seized her. Erica opened her mouth to speak, but found herself unable to form the words. Her hands shook as she reached up to touch her face. She froze. Beneath her fingertips, her skin was rough, burned, just like in the other world. And when she looked up at the mirror across the room, she saw them. 2 sunken black pits where her eyes should have been. The creature's voice echoed in her mind one last time. You will never stop seeing. Make the background music scary, intense, mystical. Settings. Use a female voice with a standard Midwestern accent for the narrator. Use YouTube audio library only. Use horror trip stories as watermark text. Add word-by-word subtitles. Add like and subscribe at the end.